When you look at the map of South America, you instantly see the massive footprints of Spanish and Portuguese colonial legacies. Yet, tucked away in the absolute northeast corner lies one of the strangest geographic and logistical paradoxes on Earth, a region known as the Guianas. Despite sharing thousands of kilometers of land borders with giants like Brazil and Venezuela, this isolated strip of land is completely detached from its neighbors. Culturally, economically, and geopolitically, it feels like an entirely separate world. So, what makes the Guianas so fundamentally different, turning a continental territory into an invisible island? And this is exactly where geography comes into play. This unique region, historically comprised of Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana, defies all traditional geopolitics. Instead of connecting with Latin America, it has spent centuries looking outward toward the Atlantic Ocean. The ultimate culprit behind this structural disconnect is the impenetrable wall of the Amazon rainforest and the rugged geological formations of the Guiana Shield. This fierce natural barrier makes cross-border road infrastructure almost impossible to build. As a result, potential regional trade is entirely choked out by the landscape. The Guianas remain a fascinating geographic prison sitting directly on the South American mainland, yet functionally marooned from the rest of the continent. We will continue diving deep into these hidden mechanics in just a moment, but I wanted to share a quick personal note. I research, write, edit, and voice all of these GeoAtlas videos entirely by myself as a solo creator. It takes a massive amount of effort to bring these deep dives to life. If you enjoy these geographic puzzles and want to support the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It truly helps me keep this project going. Thank you so much, and now let's move forward. The territory legally defined as the Guianas is carved out into three distinct political entities: Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. Together, this continuous landmass spans a total area of 468,000 square kilometers, a footprint that makes it slightly larger than the US state of California. Anchored firmly onto the South American plate and flanked by the crushing waves of the Atlantic Ocean to the north, this entire region is effectively under a state of permanent natural lockdown. The mastermind behind this absolute containment is an ancient geological monolith known as the Guiana Shield. This structure is a one-of-a-kind tectonic fortress dating back a staggering 2 billion years. Having endured violent metamorphic cycles since the pre-Cambrian era, the shield has evolved into a chaotic landscape that completely traps these three nations inside, structurally fracturing them away from the rest of the continent. The Guiana Shield dictates human logistics through its fierce physical geometry. Most notably, the landscape is guarded by awe-inspiring vertical tabletop mountains known as Tepuis. These gargantuan blocks of solid rock, featuring sheer cliff faces on all sides, tower ominously over the Guiana highlands of Western Guyana. Because this jagged high-altitude shield is so notoriously hostile to human access, an infinite sea of ancient rainforest has managed to thrive completely uninterrupted over eons. Today, approximately 80 to 90% of the Guianas is choked out by a thick, suffocating maze of jungle. This wilderness is so dense that building modern interior settlements remains a physical impossibility, making this pocket of the mainland one of the least inhabited places on the entire planet. Yet, adding to this geographical anomaly, the territory is split by massive, unexpected patches of flat savannas. These barren, grassy plains act as the polar opposite of the dense jungle biome, looking far more reminiscent of sub-Saharan Africa than South America. The vast Rupununi savanna, stretching all the way to the Brazil border in southwest Guyana, perfectly embodies this extreme landscape shift. But the true logistical nightmare lies in the water. Hidden beneath the canopy is a dangerous network of rivers, flowing northward into the Atlantic. This includes the region's largest artery, the Crucibl River, which originates at the Brazilian border in the far south of Guyana and slashes across the entire length of the nation, emptying into the ocean just west of the capital city, Georgetown. Navigating these waterways is an unpredictable gamble due to violent rapids and hidden sandbars choking the river mouths. Furthermore, the surrounding soil is entirely waterlogged, soft, and marshy, preventing foot travel or heavy equipment transport. And right here, geography filters humanity. Since the untamed interior cannot be conquered by foot, road, or boat, the only strip of land capable of supporting human survival is the narrow Atlantic coastline. Over decades, engineering projects carved a series of complex drainage canals across the coastlines of all three territories. These canals successfully regulated the chaotic water table, hardening the muddy soils into a stable surface fit for structural foundations. This single engineering triumph explains why the three capital cities, Georgetown, Paramaribo, and Cayenne, are all crammed directly against the Atlantic oceanfront. The interior of the Guianas was simply too terrifyingly unnavigable, a brutal reality that historically forced the gold-seeking Spanish Empire to abandon the region entirely. Thousands of years before European sails broke the horizon, the first human footprints in this region belonged to indigenous groups, most notably the Arawak and the Carib people. Hemmed in by the impassable mountain walls to the south, these early societies adapted by navigating northward, establishing fluid trade routes between the mainland and the Caribbean islands. This continuous maritime movement birthed a highly pluralistic local culture. Observing the chaotic labyrinth of waterways slashing through the jungle, these native groups labeled the region the land of many waters, the exact linguistic root from which the Guianas derive their name today. The first recorded European contact occurred in 1498, when Christopher Columbus charted the coast, though he never actually set foot on the soil. Due to the terrifying complexity of the landscape, nearly a century passed before the British statesman and explorer Sir Walter Raleigh spearheaded the first comprehensive expedition in 1594. Long before this, in 1494, the Spanish and Portuguese empires had signed the infamous Treaty of Tordesillas, drawing a vertical line across the map of the Western Hemisphere to split global domination between themselves. Under this pact, the Guianas legally fell to Spain. However, the sheer logistical nightmare of the terrain acted as a natural shield. The Spanish simply decided the region was not worth the immense resource investment, shifting their imperial focus deeper into South America. This historic vacancy allowed three rival empires, the British, the French, and the Dutch, to infiltrate the coast during the 17th century with virtually zero Spanish resistance, establishing lucrative trading posts. The British carved out British Guiana, which is modern Guyana. The Dutch secured Dutch Guiana, known today as Suriname, and the French established French Guiana. Simultaneously, the fringes remained divided, with Spanish Guiana evolving into part of modern Venezuela and Portuguese Guiana forming the modern Brazilian state of Amapá. For decades, these three colonial powers fought endless regional proxy wars, causing the Guianas to routinely change hands until the Treaty of London in 1814 permanently consolidated their respective borders. Throughout the 17th and 18th centuries, these empires weaponized the land for sugar plantation economies, fueling their production through brutal forced labor networks. The transatlantic slave trade forcefully funneled an estimated 10 to 15 million Africans across the ocean into the Americas, with a massive volume systematically dumped into the plantations of the Guianas. This artificial demographic engineering was so severe that the African population eventually outnumbered white colonists by a staggering ratio of 3-to-1. Concurrently, local indigenous groups were also systematically enslaved. Forced into identical spaces of survival, these distinct ethnic groups gradually merged, forging an entirely new Afro-Caribbean cultural matrix. The collapse of this labor machine occurred in waves throughout the 19th century as global abolition laws took hold. Great Britain shattered the status quo first by passing the Slavery Abolition Act in 1833. The French Empire followed suit in 1848, and the Dutch finally dismantled the system in Dutch Guiana in 1873. Yet, The plantation owners required an immediate logistical replacement to keep the sugar harvest flowing. Their solution was the introduction of indentured servitude. While these laborers technically possessed more legal rights than enslaved people, they were trapped under inhumane contracts, enduring brutal conditions for years. These massive waves of replacement workers were imported from separate colonial domains across the globe, including India, China, and Java. This calculated, multi-century migration pipeline permanently disrupted the original demographics of the territory, morphing the Guianas into one of the most ethnically, linguistically, and culturally diverse sectors on Earth, a complex human mosaic that defines the region to this very day. Today, the Guianas boast a combined population of approximately 1.7 million people, housing a collection of cultures that completely defy their continental surroundings. Driven by distinct historical timelines, Guyana and Suriname successfully shattered their colonial chains, achieving full independence in 1966 and 1975, respectively. Meanwhile, French Guiana took a radically different path, legally operating as an overseas department and region of France. This political structure injects a heavy, direct European influence into the territory. Spanning an area of 84,000 square kilometers and supporting a compact population of around 290,000 people, French Guiana bypasses local South American frameworks entirely. Its official currency is the euro, and its citizens hold full European Union voting rights. This administrative anomaly triggers a staggering geopolitical paradox. The dense jungle border between French Guiana and Brazil, stretching across 730 kilometers, officially constitutes the single longest continuous land border of the French Republic anywhere on Earth. Shifting west, Suriname stands out as a unique linguistic island. Outside of Europe, it is the only sovereign country in the world to maintain Dutch as its sole official language. It holds the title of South America's smallest independent nation in terms of both geographical area and population, measuring just 163,000 square kilometers with a population slightly over 632,000 residents. Yet, what it lacks in size, it makes up for in cultural complexity. The capital city of Paramaribo has turned into a world-renowned gastronomic sanctuary, displaying an endless culinary blend gathered from every corner of the globe. In the 21st century, this isolation has transformed Suriname into a premier hub for high-stakes ecotourism, drawing travelers into the ancient marvels of the Guiana Shield. In fact, Suriname holds a world record as the most heavily forested nation on the planet, with a staggering 90% of its territory covered by pristine, untouched rainforest. Finally, anchoring the Western Front is Guyana, the only English-speaking nation in South America. It stands as the largest and most populated entity within the Guianas. Covering 214,000 square kilometers, Guyana is ironically almost the exact same physical size as Great Britain itself, while supporting a population of over 800,000 people. The demographic reality across these three lands is astonishingly complex. The most dominant ethnic group today in both Guyana and Suriname is neither white European nor Black African. Instead, it is Indo-Guyanese and Indo-Surinamese. These populations are directly descended from the millions of indentured servants transported from the Indian subcontinent during the 19th century. Mirroring this, the landscape features large, intertwined populations of Afro-descendant, European, Chinese, and Javanese Indonesian peoples. In French Guiana, citizens of African and Afro-European Creole descent form the primary demographic, surrounded by a multicultural mixture. Binding all three territories together are the indigenous Amerindian populations, whose ancestral roots run deep into the mainland and the Caribbean network. This regional connection is so historically profound that both Guyana and Suriname bypass continental South American groups, operating instead as core members of CARICOM, the Caribbean Community, and Common Market. This formal economic alliance fosters powerful social, political, and financial ties with the islands, proving that the Guianas are fundamentally entwined with the Caribbean ecosystem. They are geographically anchored to South America, but culturally inseparable from the West Indies. Ultimately, the Guianas are a beautiful geographical anomaly. If the region's ancient shield and waterlogged soils had been easily navigable, the gold-hungry Spanish Empire would have completely conquered the coast, blocking the British, Dutch, and French from ever gaining a foothold and changing global history forever. Because they were rejected by Spain hundreds of years ago, they evolved away from the Latino identity of the continent. They are not culturally South American. They are Caribbean, they are Indian, they are African, they are European, they are the untamed Guianas. If you loved exploring the hidden anomalies of our world, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now for brand new geographical investigations every single week. And if you want to uncover another jaw-dropping landscape that completely altered the destiny of an entire continent, click right here to check out our video on the hidden secrets of Europe's unbelievable Alps Mountains. Thanks for watching GeoAtlas, and we will see you in the next exploration.